Hello friends, I am Professor Sushant Mohite, working as a head of electrical department from Praveen Patil College of Diploma Engineering and Technology. Now we start unit number 4. In this unit, we learn the features of energy efficient motor. The first one, the material used is of high quality, that is high flux density and high current density. Normally, in standard motors, use iron material for making core of stator as well as rotor. But in energy efficient motor, use the silicon steel stamping. Reason, in iron core creates or produce the losses, that is core losses, that is hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. But energy efficient motor, the core used in energy efficient motor is silicon steel stamping. So this material means silicon material, it opposes the eddy current. So the losses which creates because of the core are minimized in energy efficient motor. Second, due to high quality material, luminous use are thin, hence core size will be less, so that losses will be less. Next, due to precise air gap between stator and rotor reduces the losses. If the air gap between the stator and rotor is maximum, then the flux produced from stator to rotor is distributed because of large air gap. It distributed in the air gap, means it cannot be flow from stator to rotor directly because of the large air gap. Hence, if the air gap between stator and rotor is minimum, then the flux is directly transferred from stator to rotor. The starting and running torque is more. The noise and vibration level is less. Less maintenance. Operating temperature with standing capacity is more without any problem. These are the features of energy efficient motor. One more thing, the cost of energy efficient motor is maximum as compared to standard motor, but the payback period of or the profits which creates by the energy efficient motor is maximum. So payback period is very less. Therefore, in large industries use the maximum time energy efficient motor. Next, periodic maintenance of induction motor. The first one, general, the machine should be stopped and isolated from all supplies before any maintenance work is done. The frequency of maintenance required depends to a large extent upon the site condition. Second, clean the winding of motor against affected due to surrounding atmosphere conditions. Third, air passage for ventilation blow out regularly to avoid interference with cooling system. Next, renew switch gear and fuse warm out contacts, that is starter. Next, the brushes. In brushes, the replace worn out brushes of similar grade. Adjust the brush pressure properly. Then the free movement of brushes in the respective box must be ensuring. Check that the brushes are sitting properly on the slip ring and tension is uniform. The next, care should be taken that brushes should be vibrating in holders when motor is running. The next one, replace if brushes are worn out within 3 mm of their support arm. Next, brushes should be checked after every 100 hours of running. Next, slip rings. Replace slip ring if it's uneven wear. Then clean the slip ring dust. The next, tight the connection from the winding to slip rings. Next is a bearing. Replace worn out bearings by equipment bearings of similar type. They clean and recharge the bearings after every 3000 hours of running. The next, use sandpaper to clean the contact between brushes and slip ring by manually rotating armature, and finally clean with dry cloth in the direction of rotation only. The next, do not use different grade of grease. Next, add lubricating oil if necessary in case of lubricating motors. Next, in case of indirect drive, check the belt tension and if found excess, it should be reduced. The next, make alignment proper. Next is the air gap. The air gap should be periodically checked with a filler gauge to ensure against a worm bearing that might permit the rotor to rub against the stator core. Even slight rubbing of the rotor against the stator will generate enough heat to destroy the coil insulation. This check is needed particularly for sleeve bearing motors. Next one, do not do properly maintenance of cooling system. Check the insulation resistance. If it's not satisfied, then machine should clean and drying test is conducted to improve the insulation resistance. Check continuity of air conductor. If found open, correct it. Next, tight all the connection in terminal box and starting unit. Next one, check the condition of foundation and found any defect, rectify it. The last one, checking of base plate fixing on foundation. Another answer of this question is maintenance, as the name suggests, it is the action necessary for retaining or restoring a piece of equipment or machine to the specified operable condition to achieve its maximum useful life. Maintenance can be classified into two groups. The first one, repair maintenance or restorative maintenance, and the second one is a protective maintenance. First, repair maintenance. It is the most primary type of repairs. It arrives after a fault being carried out. Restorative or repair maintenance has many disadvantages like lesser time for the useful life of the machine, waste of valuable energy, etc. It is also known as a corrective maintenance. Next one is a protective maintenance. This type of maintenance form can be referred to the schedule of plant maintenance action, that is schedule maintenance, aim at the prevention of breakdowns and failures. Example of protective maintenance are changing of oil, greasing, tightening of the belt, changing of filters, etc. It can also be defined as anything that increases the life of equipment and helps it runs more efficiently. Further, it can be divided into two subgroups of activities. The first, continuous monitoring, and the second one, periodic measurement or predictive techniques. Protective maintenance will generally involve lubricating, cleaning, and check for sparking brushes, vibration, loose belts, high temperature, and unusual noises. So, a planned inception and maintenance is needed for vast of electrical equipment to keep in proper working condition. But the question arises, do we need a proper maintenance schedule? And the answer will be yes. Because without a proper maintenance schedule, when something goes wrong with a motor, it can lead to expensive repairs, can take some leads to replace it with a new one. This is why a proper schedule maintenance schedule is necessary. However, it will not guarantee that motor will not get any trouble, but it will limit the problem. So, the main idea behind motor maintenance is to prevent breakdown rather than repairs them. Since here we are talking about maintenance of induction motor and its two type. The first squirrel cage type induction motor. Squirrel cage induction motor requires significantly less maintenance as it does not contain brushes, commutators, slip rings. The second one, wound rotor type induction motor or slip ring induction motor. Since it contains slip ring, brushes, so it does require maintenance time to time. Considering the above discussion, most common faults that can be avoided through the adoption of condition monitoring methods. Then, the stator winding faults normally are consequences of overheating, contaminations, etc., possibly causing short turns, short coils, same phase or coil to ground and single phasing. Such failures create stator electrical imbalance as well as vibration in the current harmonic content. The next is a bearing fault. It can be caused by incorrect lubrication, mechanical stress, wrong assembling, etc. They can affect all the bearing parts such as inner and outer races, cage and balls or rolls. The next is the rotor fault. These are usually caused by broken bars or broken end rings, rotor misalignments and imbalance. The next is the primary focus of problems in a three-phase induction motor is in their stator and their supports. The leading causes of failures are superheating, imperfections in the isolation, mechanical bearings and electrical failures. So the following inspection schedule may vary depending on the type of machine and importance of that machine must be carried out of induction motor. The maintenance program of every week. Examine commutator and brushes. Examine or check the starter, switch, fuse and other control tighten loose connections. See that machine brought up to rated speed in normal time or not. Then next, check the level of oil in bearings. The maintenance program for every 5 or 6 months. The first one, clean motor, blowing out dirt from windings and wipe commutator and brushes. Next, the check brushes and replace any that are more than half warm. Next, examine brush holders and clean them if dirty. Make sure that brushes ride free in holders. Next, drain, wash out and replace oil in sleeve bearings. Next, check grease in a ball or roller bearings. Next, see that all covers and belt and gear guards are in place in good order and securely fastened. Next, inspect and tighten connection on motor and control. The maintenance program for every year. The first one, clean out and renew grease in ball or roller bearing housing. The next, clean out magnetic dirt that may be cleaning to poles. Next, check clearance between shaft and journal boxes of the sleeve bearings motors to prevent operation with worm bearings. Next, clean out undercut slots in the commutator. Check the commutator for smoothness. The next, examine connection between commutator and armature coil. Next, test insulation by megaohmmeter. Next, check air gap. This is the periodic maintenance of induction motor.